This is Living Left, the raw space where we redefine success, purpose, and identity through honest, unfiltered conversation. We're navigating business, family, change, chaos, one left turn at a time. It's not about finding what's next. It's about owning what's left. Join us and let's go there. Hey, Tanya.
Hi, Anne-Marie. How are you today?
I'm great. When we're back, we're going to talk about living left.
Yes.
And for those who are new, I'm Anne Marie Burton, and you are.
Tanya Garcia, and we are the owners of Left Turn, the marketing agency.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about marketing necessarily today because we are really excited to talk about transitions in life and something that is a burning conversation in a lot of our circles,
Hmm.
because we happen to be parents of teenagers and we both have two who have left to go to university. So two
Yes.
of the five left turn babies,
Yes.
or sorry, four of the five,
Four of the five, because we two already went.
yeah,
Yeah.
are off at school. And so that is the that transition is like in all of our conversations within our peer groups, within our professional groups, probably my whole entire algorithm as well. I seem to be getting
Yes.
everything is about the empty nest, or is it the open door, and how are you handling this? And we have just found that that is a conversation that is on repeat. So we want to talk about it too, because when you go through massive transitions like this, it absolutely blends into all areas of your life, including your professional life.
Correct.
And I think we've been really, really grateful that we have such a flexible scenario, a work scenario, because we work remotely and we have built a company that is really truly open to
Flexible, nimble.
yeah, it's open to life adaptations. And so we've been able to, I think, again, compared to some of my peers, I think we've been able to be flexible for these life changes in a way that's not normal. That's more, it's unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how have you
And
felt? How have you felt, Tanya?
I have felt, well, that's a very loaded question. How have I felt?
Wait,
So
how have you dealt?
yeah, so I think one thing I wanted to build on what you just said too is that this transition, this left turn, if you will, that we're at, because everyone who has university students, are launching them off and going through
Or
this,
college students, or
or
kids who are taking a
college,
gap
or
year, or whatever. We've always known what every single year is going to be, and now they graduate grade 12 and
yeah. But I think
well,
for us in this particular transition, the idea of time is very much. So the left turn is in what do I now do with this amount of time that I have, right? Some of us kind of see that coming and make adjustments. So, interestingly for me, even though it's like 8 years, part of my
eight
history in the last
years
8 years
left
since we
turn.
started Left
Oh,
Turn.
yeah.
Thanks for clarifying. Yeah. Um, the original Left Turn for me was to leave corporate big agency job and start something because I kind of saw down the road that there would be more time. Kids are getting older. I want to make sure I'm in a joyful situation so that I can move through this as positively as possible. And now, 8 years later, I'm facing it head on where I have two. You still have one at home. I have two. I am an official empty nester, and I am working through that in a very unconventional way.
Yes.
Which, when people get to know us, it isn't actually that unconventional where I
No,
am
it's
like,
not. This is very Tanya. Every single thing you're like, if you know Tanya, this is not
this
surprising.
is what I would do. And I have been working through that. So my way of managing it is to get on an airplane and get out of the
Is to
flipping
run.
country and to occupy myself because, I'm still working on this idea of, just slowing down and being in the moment and feeling all the feelings. So I prefer to do that by the ocean in another country, drinking a pint of Guinness. So that's what I've been doing. So I launched my second kid in September, and 7 days later got on a plane for 3 weeks, um, and worked from Ireland, which I have been doing for now 2 years, I would say, right, Anne Marie? So I don't do anything like that. I kind of, what did you say? I'm like a boiling frog.
Yeah, it is like you're they don't yeah, they don't know they're boiling, you're cooking them because it's you turn the temperature up
It
slowly
turned
and
the
slowly and
temperature up.
slowly. Yeah.
So part of this left turn, which I knew was happening, this idea that I had more time, and we'll get into a lot of, there's been a lot of personal transitions and left turns that have gone through my life. We're going to talk about my separation. We're going to talk about my downsizing. We're going to talk about all of those things.
Yeah, maybe
But
just not
real,
on this particular
this
episode, but in the
particular
future
one
we will.
is the big one is knowing that my kids were leaving and I want to have a fulfilling life and reclaiming kind of identity of who I am and discovering all of that. So the way I'm doing that is like I just got back 2 days ago and in 4 weeks I'm flying out again. And but to your point, I have an amazing business partner who understands that this is what I want to do right now,
And it's
and
what you
for now.
need. It's what
And
you
it's what
need.
I need to do right now. I do need an ocean of separation for a lot of reasons. And how do we continue to run the business? How do I continue to fully engage with time zone changes, et cetera? And you have been fantastic. But is, everybody's way of coping is different. This is what is working for me right now. So when people ask me what the hell you're doing, that's what I'm doing.
I
I'm
think your coping strategy, though, to have something to look forward to and have a
Yes.
vacation to kind of honor and celebrate the fact that you raised someone to 18 years old,
Mhm.
that seems to be a really common response I've seen from a lot
Yes.
of
A
people
lot
as
of my
well,
friends
is
took off for a few weeks. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
just to kind of be like, okay, we're breathing. I put a lot of energy into that bucket. I need to put some energy into my bucket now and focus inwardly. I think that's a really healthy response.
Hmm. I
And so
think so.
now, and so when you're back, then that's the question is then how do you look at your time when you're on this side of the ocean? Like it's interesting. We have a mutual friend too who's like, I don't know what to do in the evenings because that
Yeah.
time used to be really full of children oriented and you didn't really some people didn't give
Activities.
themselves they didn't make a plan for themselves. The plan was given based on the schedule of the family. And now there's no one creating that. So that's a really weird place for parents, I think, when there's less humans in the house.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that it's also finding the things that um you know, being curious about yourself and trying new things and doing new things, um, and not kind of throwing yourself into something that maybe you did before that you doesn't bring you joy. It's an opportunity to try something new, I
Yeah.
guess.
Be curious.
What the separation does for me is it, and I think this is true for anything. And so I've encouraged the idea of getting away from your house like for years. Like this is not new. This is very core to who I am because I think you appreciate what you have when you come back. It can get very mundane and very, if you're in doing the same thing every day with the same kind of people and the same, I mean, it's fine. But again, growth is a big part, curiosity, forcing yourself to have different conversations or experience different things.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do in the world we live in right now, right?
Yeah.
And especially working remotely and being home all of the time. So, do you have to get on an airplane and go to Europe? No. But the idea of I'll do it, I'll go work at my girlfriend's cottage for like 3 days if given the opportunity. It just pulls you out, gives you a fresh perspective. And then when
Yeah.
you come back in, there's just new energy. And that is something I've been doing probably for the last 5 years, I would say, pretty
Yeah. And
consistently.
those are regular little left turns.
Yep. Yep. How about you, Anne-Marie? Because again, we launched at the same time. You were a few weeks before because you had to get yours to another province. But
Yeah.
where are you in this?
I don't I should have prepared for this a little bit better. Um, well, I have one that is in her third year but had switched schools. So
Hmm.
that came so across the country switch. So that was a transition, almost like a first year launch in many ways.
Yep.
And then another one who went early because he's an athlete, and so he had to be there for camp. So I felt kind of some of that grief earlier than all my peers. So
Mhm.
I was like home in August waiting for everybody to get their kid out so that we could all talk about this. And by the time everyone else was falling apart at Labor Day, I had feel like I had bounced back a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I got dragged in a little bit more to the grief. It's like you kind of put the grief on hold and then re-grieved, but it's not, grief is a funny word. I don't know. I'm happy. I'm really happy for both of them. So I miss them. I think the bigger question is when you like, I'm not very comfortable, like I don't find a lot of calmness and stillness. So that's a
Me
hard thing
neither.
for me.
I'm the same way.
It's something I'm always trying to work on. But I like to keep busy and I like to do a lot of things, and I'm happier when I'm doing a lot of things. And I've built a very busy life, and probably a lot of that has been around having a busy family. So there's still one person, one child here, so she's still just as busy, but we've always had a divide and conquer situation in our house with my spouse. So there was not really as need to divide and conquer in the same way with, because I mean we had three kids, two parents. Then we had a couple of years on one, and now it's two on one. Like what is that? Like
Mhm.
it's weird. It's just a bit
I'm
weird.
glad you brought, I was waiting for you to get, because I think the key kind of insight for you that I think a lot of people are going to relate to, because my busyness with my kids was at a different level. My life wasn't as kid busy because they weren't in competitive sports to the degree that yours were. And I think there's a lot of people in your scenario, Anne Marie, where you're running
Yeah.
at a level that in
It's a
some
high cortisol level. Like
it is
it is
intense.
too
Like,
crazy.
yeah,
Like
you had
it's
kids in multiple sports. Like, it was very much kind of the culture and the environment of what it was. So I wouldn't underestimate, like, while I kind of came off it slowly, like you went boop down. Like there was
yeah.
a drastic, so I think a lot of people can relate to that
Yeah.
um that's not easy. That's not easy. So the time you have is not, I just have a few more hours in the evening. Like you have probably have
Like
added
I have full
50%.
weekends. Like I don't even know what to do. Like
Yes.
On
Yes.
Sunday, this just happened. I'm like, oh, all we had on our schedule was one practice in another town, but I was like,
Hmm.
so no one needs to go. And I was like, I didn't really have and you know me, I'm either like all in or all out. So I don't really
Sure.
have a very good medium speed. I think most
Hmm.
normal healthy adults run at medium, and that's a smart decision. I don't have a medium. I'm either
Yeah.
high or low.
Or
There's
I'm
not.
low.
So I was like, I read almost an entire book on that Sunday because I didn't really know what else to do. I had a list of things I could do and I wanted to do, but I was like, no, I'm just going to do this. And I sat outside and I read this book, and I have to also realize that that's okay to do one thing. And it's and that was healthy, and I made dinner too. I did a
Yeah.
few little
Yeah.
tasks. But you don't have to do 20 things in a day.
That's a big
So I'm
one.
learning about that. I'm learning I do, but I also miss doing 20 things in a day. So that's also a weird thing. So
Because that's our adrenaline. That's our, we're
yeah,
feeding. So to your point, agreed. I miss that too. I we feel fuller when we're most quote unquote productive, but I think we're entering this idea of this left turn where we
yeah.
have this time, and it's like, okay, how, what's the balance between both? And it's
And
okay
I
to just do one thing.
And I don't know how, if I think you're probably doing the same thing. I'm trying really hard not to fill all my personal time. I don't want to just turn it to work. I think that
Yes. I'm glad you said that.
that's an easy way for a lot of people to be
Yeah.
like, well, I'll just work more because I have a lot
Yep.
more time. But we've built a company that is, we have tried so hard to be efficient. We've tried so hard to be flexible. I do feel if I suddenly just ramp all those hours into extra work, I don't know. Sometimes it's okay, but I- for me, I don't think I'm going to be as I need to
It's not
find
sustainable
other
either.
things. It's not sustainable, and it's not actually filling my cup. I've it's a
No.
personal it's
Yeah.
it's a personal cup that got empty. I need to fill that up with personal. My
So,
work cup is still full and my work cup is still fulfilling. It's good. I don't need to
yes, but you don't have to
overflow
fill it
over
more.
here.
Yes,
Yeah, I need to fill over here. And again, in the calmness and stillness, there's a lot of thinking and a lot of processing, and so I have no answers at all on this.
no,
I will
I think
say
that's
I'm
great.
leaving tomorrow to go visit my kid that's across the country. I'm unusually excited. Like I
Of
never pack
course.
early for anything ever. Like when I see you're packing when you go away, you've like done, and I'm like,
I have
that is
processes.
just not how I function, but that's okay. I throw things in a bag and we go. Like I packed 2 days ago. Like
Aw.
I have all my university gear for
Because you have
homecoming.
time to do it now.
I probably. And I was like, and I've cleaned, it's clean. I'm like, huh.
You're so
So
organized.
I don't even know what to do with that organization. So, and I have glow in the dark, all kinds of blue glow. What are they?
For the game.
Necklaces. Yeah. Anyway, I'm ready. I'm ready. And bless him, he's like not ready for how excited I am. Like, uh,
He's like,
poor
relax, what's the
boy.
big deal?
Poor boy does not want to.
Yeah, but that's so good. No, I think, and it's funny, I was going to mention it when I was saying it before, and then I was like, I don't know. But again, I agree with you. I think that a lot of us, as if you think of female professionals who are now is like, okay, well, we will be told to the narrative out there will be you have all of this time. Now there's opportunity for you to ramp up in this area. And for some people that is the right answer. Some people it's an opportunity for them maybe to take something that they've been passionate or visionary like thinking about and maybe bring that to life. But you're right in that just redirecting it to something that maybe doesn't it shouldn't all go into one bucket. Like you have an
No.
opportunity now. And I know that I've always told you, like through personal experience that we'll eventually get into, like I could write a book on how we both could, like, how do you start a business in COVID and when your personal, and my extension is, and your personal life is being like your family's being blown up. Like
Yeah.
I put all of my effort, like there were, remember, 3 or 4 intense years of me
Yep.
just
I
like
remember.
opening the laptop. That was my answer. And I
Yeah, well,
sucked. I
you
did.
filled the time with
I
more work,
filled
which
the
was
time,
yeah,
which
but
was
it's not.
great,
Yeah,
but not
it's a
sustainable.
solution. It's a solution.
No, because
It's
I burnt out and there was a burnout that happened
yeah,
after that because I was like, well, I should have balanced that a little bit more. So I'm glad you're saying that. I think it's using the pause and the opportunity in this left turn to say, I'm just going to give it some space and let it breathe. And I don't need an
yeah.
answer tomorrow.
No. And you can do, I also think there's two things. There's habits. So so one thing I've done that I'm actually happy I'm doing, but I've when on a reflection, I'm like, I just created something I had before, like a
Sure.
repeat. So for example, you mentioned all the athletes, like so a big part of being a family that's active in a lot of sport is the other families and friends you meet through the sport, right? And then do you keep in touch with them? Like how do you manage that? So my kid goes across this country and I'm like, where's the parent chat? And there's
Mm,
no parent chat. Well, who creates the parent chat and
mhm,
has now created, has like 60 parents on this WhatsApp chat? I was
mhm.
shocked there wasn't one. Then I started with thinking, oh my gosh, well, have I just created something I needed? And is this actually like, am I a goofball because I created this? Well, but the benefit is I've met a whole bunch of new people
Sure.
and it actually is beneficial. And the response has been, why wasn't this here before?
Absolutely. It's
So
like
I'm like,
any
okay,
university, every university has a Facebook group. It's the same
yeah.
idea,
Yeah, so but it's
right?
super narrow to the
I
team
love
and
that. Yeah, it
and
should
so
be.
I
It's
know
more
I'm going to go
relevant.
for homecoming this weekend and I'm going to meet some people. So okay, that's filling up my cup. But it's funny, it's just repeat. So it's not so much of a left turn. It's a this is what I do, so I'm going to do it for this team too. Like I've always done this. So I'm going to create that kind of community.
Yeah,
So that's one thing I think some people we just repeat what we know and I don't think there's anything wrong with that as
there
long as
isn't.
it's positive.
Left, to be clear, a left turn, just to define it for anyone who's listening, like doesn't have to be an innovative new idea. Like we're in marketing, we know there's no new ideas ever, right? Like it's
You just
something
recycle
that
them.
it's recycle, you evolve, you make it relevant based on what you need. You make decisions based on experience and the opportunity that's in front of you. The left turn, if we're looking at defining that, is the drive to change the path. There's,
Yeah,
I'll use risk, and you tend to, I agree, it's not necessarily the riskier move, but it's not a passive move. Left turn, turning left inherently, why we love that name is because the decisions aren't a natural turn. A right
yeah.
turn is typically a
The
natural turn.
automatical, yeah, the
The
automatic, like,
automatic next
what do you do
turn,
every year? And
correct.
that's why people are uncomfortable in this stage. Because every September you bought the backpack and you did this and you did this. You turned right. You did
Yeah, you
exactly
just
what
did
you've done
exactly
every
the
other
same thing.
September. And now there's you're forced into a left turn. And I think for many people, that is not how they operate. Like they operate in a routine. They operate,
Yeah,
and so it feels a bit weird. And we embrace left turns. You and I are, but we are still feeling lost a little bit in
a
this
hundred percent,
transition.
a
And I'm
hundred percent.
good with change. I love change actually. But
It's
this
very,
is
and it can be
multi-layered.
scary and it's uncertain. And yeah, I think we both kind of, I would say we are on the higher end of our tolerance for change for
Yeah.
sure. And that first week, yours a little bit before, was
Yeah.
probably one of the harder weeks of and I've been
I
through some
found,
hard
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And I found, I don't know if you find this, the
Hmm.
first kid is the hardest because you don't know what you're doing. But then
Hmm.
at home, it's not as a bit of
No, because
adjustment.
you still have, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But then the next one, you're like, wait a second. But I was
Yeah.
thinking about how I managed that change with the first one when they left.
Hmm.
And I did have a little bit more time because
Sure.
there was one less anyway. But I did use that time to focus more on my own health. I absolutely
Yes,
did.
you
Like,
did. That's a really good point. You've
so
done a
if
lot
I
of
look
work in the last
between the
couple of years.
last 2 years, like
Yes.
I have made myself a healthier version of myself, which was like always on my list, and never got dealt with. And so I do feel like that is a natural thing. So whether it's just moving more or managing your food or seeing people you want to see
Hormones.
more. Yeah, managing that stuff, like actually taking the time to invest in your health is important, which we should be doing anyway. But for me, I used
You did.
almost the same way that people use like a New Year's resolution. Like it
Yep.
was like a fresh start. I was like, okay,
Good for you.
I'm going to use that. So I did, that's how I dealt with number one leaving,
Yeah.
number two leaving. I'm like, well, the same kind of idea. I'm like, okay,
Level up a bit.
I can level up and I can also invest more in my relationships more. Like that's kind of
Hmm.
how I've
Love
focused
that.
it. So like I am reaching out to friends more. Like I walk a lot, but I walk a lot alone. Like why am I walking? Why am I stomping around this neighborhood alone? Like so actually making like a an appointment with friends to walk,
I love that.
like we talked about in our last episode, getting leading left up and going.
Hmm.
Um, Thinking about a big birthday I've got coming up. Like, what the heck am I going to do for this? Like, I need to make this about me, which feels uncomfortable to say,
Sure.
but
Of course it does because you've been focused on your
other
children
people.
and your family for so long. I mean, I think that's the biggest um transition for a lot of women,
Yeah,
mothers who are doing that
yeah,
is like, oh my God, now I actually have to look in the mirror and
yeah,
face what I knew was there always, and there's no excuse anymore.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but yeah, but business wise, I am glad you brought that up too. It's not just we're digging back into the same old, we're also using this as a opportunity to add some life to ideas that we've been talking about. This podcast kind of being one, reinventing
mm,
it, and we now have a bit more time. I'm happy to invest some more time to do this sort of thing. We
yeah,
have a few endeavors that we want to launch now,
yeah,
and we can.
yeah.
Um,
And that's what I think people should do is look at their list and say, what has been forgotten
yeah.
and
What brings you joy?
what brings you joy, and go back to what truly makes you happy and spend some time in that, and what made you happy, before these people left. And so, and I also think to celebrate what you achieve. So one of the
Yes.
things I did do with this group of '07 moms that I had become friends with through
Hmm.
school is I wanted to keep in touch with them because
Hmm.
again, you're connected because your
Of
kids are
course.
friends and now they've moved on to their next phase. Many like they're worth keeping in your life. But if you
Hmm.
don't make an effort to keep them in your life, everyone's going to just go off and do their
Yep.
thing, not because they don't want to
Friendship
stay
is an effort.
connected. But one of the things I did is organize a gathering where we all wore the outfits, like a hat, sweatshirt, whatever of the school your kid went to. And we got together 2 weeks after they left. And I posted a picture of that on social media. And so many people were like, oh my God, that was such a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? And I thought, why don't we talk about that? Like we celebrate birthdays and graduations, but there is something to be said about acknowledging and celebrating the fact that we also were part of that journey. Like it's their
We
journey,
launched them.
but
We
we
helped
helped
launch
them
them
get
for
there.
sure. Absolutely.
And if you don't acknowledge it, it's really easy, I think, to get caught up in maybe the other feelings.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
to genuinely honor it and say, wow,
Celebrate
that
it.
was a pretty big deal. And there's going to be the milestones are the children's milestones, but we did participate. And
Of
so that
course.
also is, I think, part why people feel sad because they like you don't get honored. Like
Yeah, that's
they
true.
don't, or they don't honor it in themselves.
No,
Um, but anyway,
love
that's a
that.
topic.
Love
But
that.
in the room, there was a lot of talk, or we talked about that last time leaving left, but there was a lot of people who had launched. I just realized we said we're going to keep these things. So we're 26 minutes into this one, Tanya.
We're about ready to end it then.
So I don't know. I think if people are listening to this and you have ideas on transition, life transition, like I'd love to hear what other people are doing. Like how are they spending their new time
Yeah.
and how are they filling it? Like I would actually genuinely love to hear how other people are spending their time because it cannot be just like blowing through seasons of Netflix. Like it can't be that. Like there's gotta
Totally.
be like
Although there's some
as
really good shows.
exciting as it is to talk about the girlfriend
Yeah.
or whatever the
House
new
of
kid. Have you
Guinness.
the House of Guinness is
Guinness,
really good.
so
I was
good.
gonna
It's really
ask you
good.
about it.
Yeah, there's some good ones
It's
out there
really
now.
good. There's so much, but I can't just like, oh, what'd you do in fall 2025? Oh, I watched this much TV. That cannot be the thing. Like,
No,
what did
it's
you
part
do?
of the
What
reason
new
why I
hobby?
get on an airplane. I'll be honest. Like
Yeah,
it is because it's so easy to get, especially in Canada, as I get the winter months, like it's hard, you know? And so for me, it's
but there
like
is lots to do.
physically, for sure there is. It doesn't, but even still, it is a reminder to force yourself out of, like, I have a general rule that if within 2 to 3 days, if it's the same thing, like I force myself, like I will text someone, I don't go beyond 3 days of not seeing someone or doing something quote unquote fun, whether it's dinner or whatever. It's like my general rule. Because if you notice, after 3 days, it gets harder and harder to leave the house. Try it,
That's an
everybody.
interesting perspective. And
It's
I'd say
it's
too, it
real.
doesn't
I bet
have
there's
to
science
be,
behind it.
yeah, and that would be, we should look that up. I'd also say it doesn't have to be something, because again, in this redonkulous
Yeah.
economy, you do not need to get on an airplane. You don't have to go
No,
for
I'm
dinner.
not saying that. I'm not
I
saying you
know.
have to
I'm just
go.
reiterating it, saying
Invite
there are
someone
ways,
over. My
yeah,
point is
or watch House
invite.
of Guinness with somebody and have a Guinness.
But I think, but what's important though, like, so you know me, I'm a creature of habit. So I am very disciplined in I have my morning routine, I do my thing. So it's not, in my opinion, about going out for a walk or whatever. I do that.
Yeah,
I do that every day. But it is about face to face. I need to see and be with someone different. That can be at a restaurant, that can be at my house, wine, that can be on an airplane in another country. Like there's many iterations of that, but the key to it is I have to either get out of my home, go for coffee or something, and secondly, be with someone.
yeah, yeah. So, and that's also particularly if you're not in a work environment where you're going, like,
I think
like
that
if you're,
perpetuates it. Maybe
if
that's then a
you're,
weekend is fine, but
yeah,
I will say test it in yourself. By day 3, the idea of even going to the grocery store becomes maybe I should just Uber it. Like it does. Like I think
hmm.
that there is a science. I will look it up. But day
I
3.
wonder how many people though aren't seeing people for 3 days.
Oh, longer. Oh, Anne Marie. Okay. Anyone who's listening to this, What is less guests? Like, I think there's people who go days and don't leave. I know that for a fact. I talk to people
Hmm.
about it all the time because they
Huh.
don't have to. You can work. Like, and it's not like they're not engaging with people digitally, online, whatever. They
Yeah.
feel fulfilled in their home. And that, if that works for you, that's awesome. But I will tell you, I believe that
Hmm.
there's a positiveness to pulling yourself out
Oh,
because
I agree
the
100%. I guess I'm
longer you
surprised.
wait,
Yeah.
the harder it becomes.
Yeah.
And if we have less children coming in and out of the house, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? I don't
Hmm.
know
That's a
how.
question.
It's a question. So anyway, that's a sidebar. That could be a whole other podcast.
Yeah. Who is not leaving their home? I'm like, I'm leaving my home. So this is, this is a
But you still have
surprise.
like I literally
Yeah.
would not need to leave my home because I don't have any children at home
And you work from home.
and I work from home. So I could choose to stay at home for days on end.
Yeah. So that's the context of it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then you're
Yeah, so
okay.
that's what we're talking about, though. We're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about as you get more time
Yeah.
and you have less
Yeah. Yeah.
responsibility and dependency, and let's be clear, the key to this is you were leaving your home not because you were choosing to, because you had to for someone else's
Yeah.
benefit. You were an Uber driver, you were,
Yeah.
all of those things. So now you have an opportunity to reclaim that time and to now leave the house. But what's happened is you've lost, like, I love that you're reconnecting in relationships. Like I
Yeah.
did that 8 years ago. Remember when I stopped the
Yeah.
agency life and I actually had
Yeah.
time and I was like, I need my friends back and I need to create new relationships. If you haven't done that work, then like I would never have to leave. Like
Yeah.
luckily I can just text someone and go, dude, what are you doing? I'm coming to your hot tub. Like that's what I will say. I have no shame inviting myself over for my own mental health. But like literally, like that, I think people need to really think about that.
Yeah.
I could literally be at home for 5 days straight. I'm
So
not, but
I know. I know. You're just having to make me wonder about anyway.
anyway, more to be discussed. I think we need to close this one, this living left episode off. That was a good, I think, start to our discussions
Yeah.
around left
And
turns
anyone
and
who wants
time.
to do anything, feel free to text Tanya at any time because she has a
I
2 day
always
limit.
say yes. If I'm available, I'm coming over. Like this is people know. I am I
Yes.
am I am willing to do. I just spent a week in Spain with 30 Irish people that were mostly strangers. I knew them generally. At the time of my life, I will do
Yeah.
anything. I will meet new
Right.
people
And
all of the
that's the
time.
whole thing. It's like being curious to meet and go outside of your zone. It doesn't have to be the same six friends you've
It
had spent the last
doesn't.
10 years with. It
There's
can be
beauty
another six
in new
friends.
in new people and being uncomfortable that way. Like
Yeah.
I have never regretted, maybe once, regretted saying yes to, and I distinctly know the one I regret. Usually I come out of there so happy and I've met new people and I have new relationships and always. But sometimes it does backfire. It did once.
Well, then that's another story.
That's another
So we'll do
story.
another podcast. The times we did things that we thought would be fun, but they were not.
They were not, but that's
But
okay.
most of the
That's
time,
live and
things we
learn.
think are fun are going to be fun, and things that we're scared of are fun. That's the
100%.
bigger thing, the thing
It
you're more
brings joy.
nervous to do.
It wakes you
Yeah.
up. It wakes you up. That's, I
Ooh,
think, the
that's a
key.
good line.
It's about energy. Like you can get very stagnant. And like we're tired. I'm 51. Like I'm tired. So I have to force myself to like be be in new environments and do new
Yeah.
things. So
Well,
anyway,
that was the
that
line. I heard that at a conference we went to.
mhm.
Are you tired because you're unmotivated, or are you unmotivated because you're tired?
Yes. Yes.
So just do the thing.
Yeah. So I think you're tired because you're unmotivated, personally.
Yeah.
Right? That's the one I think.
So
Whatever.
yeah.
It
So
feels very
if you but
complicated, that
But
question.
if you become motivated to do the things and you put it in
Yes.
your calendar and you
Yeah.
say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go for the walk with that friend, I'm going to join the pickleball club, I'm going to
Mhm.
go bowling. I don't know.
I'm going to go out for dinner even though they're not meeting until 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I would rather be watching House of Guinness because 8 o'clock is only an hour and a half before my bedtime. Like shit like that, that you have to think about. That's really
You also
late.
go to bed very early.
Well, what
That's
else
another
would you
thing.
do?
Well, that's another thing. I guess people could sleep if with all this time they could go to bed earlier.
You should, because like our hormones and our cortisol levels, like our body's waking us up at 3.
That's another time. Okay, pause.
Okay, Anne-Marie, this was a
Pause.
good chat.
Okay, good
Hopefully
chat.
everyone
Here we
enjoyed
go.
it.
Oh, if they didn't, don't tell us. We don't want to know. Only joy.
Only
Only joy
joy.
on this podcast. Okay. Okay. Goodbye. Bye, Tanya.
Goodbye. If you felt this one, share it, because what's left isn't less, it's everything.
Is that it? I just still. You wanted to do it again. I'm like, why